Okay, so once again, I normally get a lot of recommendations from fans, people who comment in the comment section, in the chat section, and sometimes I just get inspiration. And this was inspired by someone who commented on the question that I asked: Who won the trade between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New York Knicks? Was it the Knicks who got Karl Anthony Towns? Was it the Timberwolves who got Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo? My initial prognosis was it was the Minnesota Timberwolves. But he said, I think both teams could walk away as losers. And I said, really? Really? I said, why? Why do you think so? But immediately, I came away with this video idea of why the New York Knicks could end up regretting this trade big time. Big time. And I want to dive into that in this video. But before I do, this video is being brought to you by Bridges and Stones Family and Relationship Care. If someone you know and care for is struggling with their mental health or relationship, go to bridgesinstones.com and contact them for your free consultation today. One brave act today can create a better tomorrow. Remember, none of us make it alone. The link is in the description box below. The reason why, and I'm going to cut straight to the point, why the Knicks could end up regretting trading for Karl Anthony Towns is two main reasons. His contract, over $50 million a year. Huge. That is the biggest contract on this team right now, with Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, and the rest. Secondly, he is not reliable. I have never seen a superstar player have to come off the court in the playoffs when the game was on the line and things mattered the most. Last year, in Karl Anthony's prime, not just early in his career, when he was in the playoffs with Jimmy Butler and playing against the Houston Rockets, right? And they got mopped off, gentlemen swept, and Karl Anthony Towns just looked absolutely lost and disheveled. But it's to say, this past run, at his best, in his prime, Karl Anthony Towns was removed from the game to try to close out that Denver series. They said, it's time to win, and you are not our best option. You are not our top 5 option. You are not someone who can contribute to our winning enough to prevent us from being able to win this game. You are somebody, let me just be clear, because I may not have come out right. You ain't helping us, dog. Don't have a seat. You're hurting us. You with them. You can't seem to put it together. Sorry, bruh. And they ended up going with Naz Reid. That was telling. That was telling. The fact that he was still getting those dumb fouls. The fact that he was still struggling to be the leader that this team needs, to be consistent as his team needed when they needed it the most, was telling. Now let's also keep this in mind. Let's couple it. But this is not Karl Anthony Towns' first go around with Tom Thibodeau. How much patience do you think Tom Thibodeau is going to have for a big man who can't stay out of foul trouble? Who doesn't seem to read the game? Who doesn't always follow your defensive schemes? Who he already knows struggled to do that when he coached him in Minnesota. And so he left Minnesota. Can't remember if he was fired or he just left and went to the Knicks. I think he was fired first and then went to the Knicks. Either way, Tom Thibodeau does not have rosy colored glasses for Karl Anthony Towns. He does not have, likely, the optimistic lens that some of the pundits and the excited fans may have. He remembers the guy who can't defend. And keep in mind who he's coming from. The all-world defender in Mitchell Robinson. 7'5", 7'6" wingspan at 7'1", is going to defend the rim and rebound like a monster. He's going to gobble up rebounds for breakfast. Remember, he had Joakim Noah, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP candidate earlier. He is used to coaching and thriving with high-level defensive centers. He struggles Tom Thibodeau, this is, struggles mightily with a center who cannot defend. Karl Anthony Towns, namely. Now, I know a lot of people are saying maybe the perimeter defense of Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, it will be more than enough to be able to insulate Karl Anthony Towns, but will it? Will it really? Because you have to keep in mind who they are going to be going up against. Let's start off with the Philadelphia 76ers, who now have Paul George and Tyrese Maxey, all NBA players on the perimeter, and then one MVP, Joel Embiid, on the interior. Do you trust Karl Anthony Towns? Because you don't have another option for Joel Embiid. You don't. Jericho Sims, stop it. I can't believe I even brought up his name. Karl Anthony Towns is going to have to guard Joel Embiid in a playoff series. Now, I know Joel Embiid fades in the playoffs, so maybe they're hoping for that. Maybe they're hoping that he'll just get injured and not make it to the playoffs. Right? Now, those are actually probably good betting odds. But it's to say that if he does, you have to trust him not to get into foul trouble. And if he does get into foul trouble, who do you have behind him in the playoffs? You know how many pick and rolls they're going to put Karl Anthony Towns in? How many times Tyrese Maxey is going to get downhill against him? Keep in mind, Karl Anthony Towns' wingspan, I think, is like 7 feet, 7'1". He has a very small wingspan for centers. Look it up. Look it up. He does not have a large wingspan, which means this is a major reason why he struggles to defend the rim. Not just his timing, not just his effort, not just his lack of preparation or his dedication to the defensive side of the ball. He also does not have the physical attributes. Unlike an Al Horford, who has a shorter wingspan at 6'10", but his wingspan, I think, is only like maybe 6'10", 6'11", 7 feet. It's pretty small for a 6'10" big. Al Horford has amazing timing and defensive IQ. He is the type of player who can man that position. Karl Anthony Towns has never had that focus since he was at Kentucky. The Knicks could regret Karl Anthony Towns. Keep in mind, he's also going to have to go up against the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I keep telling y'all, they're coming. Damian Lillard, my man Dame, out of Oakland via Portland Trailblazers, is not going to continue to have a down year shooting. If you're betting that Damian Lillard continues to shoot badly for only the second time in his career, he's been an amazing scorer, playmaker, shooter, offensive hub his entire life since high school. And you're expecting that one bad year. You know, he had personal things going on. He was in Portland for what was it, over 10 years. He had to make this huge move late in the offseason without his family. Now, we all know veteran players need routines. Everything was thrown off. He's trying to figure it out on the fly. Multiple coaches. It was a struggle. And they were still the number 2, number 3 seed until Giannis got hurt. The Milwaukee Bucks are coming. And you're going to have to depend upon Karl Anthony Towns to defend who? Not just the Greek Freak, but also 7'2", 7'6" wingspan Brook Lopez, who can hit you outside with threes and scoring you in the post. And you got Karl Anthony Towns with his small wingspan, lack of defensive focus, picking up bad fouls. I mean, I can go throughout the Eastern rosters. I can take you to the Indiana Pacers, who they're going to have to see. The Orlando Magic, who they're going to have to see. You are going to need a reliable big man who can defend the rim, and that's not Karl Anthony Towns. Now, I guess you're hoping that his offense is going to offset things, but let's also review that a little bit too. If Karl Anthony Towns gets into foul trouble, how much offense is he going to be able to help you out with? Karl Anthony Towns is getting exposed on defense. At what point is Tom Thibodeau going to get too fed up and frustrated? At what point is his offense actually going to offset what he contributes or lack of contribution on defense to make sure his value on the court is more valuable than on the bench? You see, these are things that you're going to have to consider. You look at the Orlando Magic. You look at the Miami Heat. I mean, don't let that boy for the Miami Heat, the rookie over there, what's his name? Just got drafted. I think he played in Indiana. What's his name? Kel'el Ware. Don't let Kel'el Ware actually have a Derek Lively type of a season. where he forces himself to the starting lineup or getting 20 plus minutes a game, that means you've got 6'9" Bam Adebayo playing the forward position with an athletic 6'11", 7-foot center, can run and jump, has good touch, offensive footwork, and feel for the game with a high motor. With the Miami Heat coming, you're going to have to defend those boys? Oh, come on now. Come on now. It's not going to be easy for them. The New York Knicks might regret now paying this, locked in to pay Karl Anthony Towns $50+ million for the foreseeable future. Let me pull up this full contract here. I want to get the full contract. Still showing him is on the Minnesota Timberwolves. So let me see. Yes, he's getting paid $49 million this year, $53 the year after, $57 the year after that, and has a player option for $61 million in 2027-28 season. New York, you're locked into this guy who is going to get paid more than Anthony Edwards and a whole bunch of other superstars in this league, including your own Jalen Brunson, who took a contract, what would you call it? A team-friendly contract to keep his homies on the team, who they just traded. Dante DiVincenzo, who has probably one of the best contracts in the league, making only $11 and $12 million through 26-27. Has one of the best contracts. Look, I know you needed a center, but Clint Capella couldn't do. Right? You couldn't go after Robert Williams in Portland. DeAndre Ayton. I mean, DeAndre Ayton is not maybe the offensive player you want, but he stays healthy generally. He's going to get you 16 to 18 points a game, 10 to 12 rebounds. And you know that he can defend at a high level. He's shown that in the NBA Finals. He can be trusted to hold it down himself. Tell me you couldn't get him? Send out Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo for him? These are questions you're going to be asking yourself over the foreseeable future, potentially in New York. But as always, I want to know what you all think. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification. Drop this video in your group chats and get at me in the comment section. I'm going to get at y'all there. Peace.